So markets and economies have been tanking over the fear of the coronavirus for the last month or so. Not only have markets been tanking, but states and countries have been declaring states of emergency, quarantining potential victims, and locking down whole regions and cities to contain the outbreak. It's gotten so bad that businesses have mandated that employees work from home if they can, and regional authorities have banned large gatherings of people. And to top it all off, sports leagues have canceled remainders of seasons. Others have postponed the opening days of theirs. And others still have canceled their postseason play. Truth be told, the economic ramifications of this may not be known for months yet, and it could get really ugly. The question is, though, are we overreacting, underreacting, or reacting just right to the coronavirus? Well, we're going to be parsing the data to figure that out on this episode of BTP Fusion. What's up, you guys? You're watching BTP Fusion. I'm your host, Derek West. On BTP Fusion, it's our mission to inspire you to take action on your business and finance using the power of technology. Help us in our journey by smashing the like button for the YouTube algorithm and let us know what you think in the comments. But let's dive right into the content of the video, shall we? One of the questions we want to answer in this video is this panic, the quarantine, the cancellations of sports seasons by various sports leagues, and other actions warranted based on the severity of the disease. Well, to answer that question, we need to understand what the coronavirus is. The coronavirus is what's called a zoonotic type virus. That is to say, it can be transmitted between animals and people. Many people speculate that its origins are from Wuhan, a city in China that is the capital city of the Hubei province. The truth is, though, that the virus was first identified during an outbreak in Wuhan, China, or so says the CDC, but no one really knows where it came from. Its known method of transmission is through coughing, sneezing, close personal contact, such as shaking hands, touching objects that have the virus on it, and then touching your mouth, eyes, or nose. Several countries in the world have reported cases, including the United States, China, obviously, South Korea, Japan, Taiwan, Vietnam, Australia, Finland, France, Germany, Italy, the UK, Sweden, and many others. I hate to leave any one country out of this august body, but we try not to make 30-minute videos here on this channel. A look at the CDC website would indicate that there are about 1,629 cases in the US alone, with 41 deaths reported as of March 13th, 2020. The world death total so far has been close to 6,000 people out of approximately 140,000 confirmed cases, for a death rate of about 4.3%. Keep in mind, those numbers are rough numbers that I got after doing some research to make sure I knew what I was talking about when I got on camera. I'll link to where I got them in the description down below, just in case you're curious and want to check them out yourself, but generally speaking, they come from the CDC. Interesting factoid on this current outbreak. On the 29th of December 2019, Chinese authorities identified a cluster of similar cases of pneumonia in the city of Wuhan in China. Wuhan is a city with 11 million inhabitants and is the capital of the Hubei province. These cases were soon determined to be caused by a novel coronavirus that they later named SARS-CoV-2.13. Coronaviruses are a group of viruses that are common in humans and are responsible for up to 30% of common colds. Corona is Latin for crown. This group of viruses is given its name due to the fact that its surface looks like a crown under an electron microscope. 2 outbreaks of new diseases in recent history were also caused by coronaviruses. SARS in 2003, that resulted in about 1,000 deaths, and MERS, M-E-R-S, in 2012, that resulted in 862 deaths. That stated, COVID-19 has already surpassed the combined death totals for both SARS and MERS. So how does COVID-19, commonly referred to as coronavirus, compare to other flu outbreaks? You may have heard the number 400,000 deaths per year from influenza thrown around. If you have, good for you. That is about accurate, as the estimates range anywhere from 294,000 to 518,000 average deaths per year from common influenza globally. To put that into perspective, at the current death rate of COVID-19, which is peaking right now at about 400 a day, this current outbreak will not hit half of the average death rate of the yearly flu. Now, that is pretty bad in and of itself, as you would be adding these totals to the yearly flu death rate, essentially bringing its death rate for 2020 at greater than 550,000 people. So that would essentially mean more than 500,000 people are going to die from a flu-like disease in 2020. Not a pretty picture. If you compare it to all-time flu death numbers, Just to put it into perspective, you begin to get an idea of how deadly the flu can be. The Spanish flu of 1918 to 1920, estimates ranged for that disease from 17.4 million deaths to 100 million. The Asian flu of 1957 to 1958, estimates for that were between 1.5 million and 4 million deaths. Hong Kong flu, death totals ranged from 3 million to 4 million deaths. Russian flu, those were estimated to be at around 700,000. Notice that the death tolls go down as time goes on and populations of the planet increase. But I'm not an epidemiologist, and I'll defer to the technicians that know about this sort of thing for more information on how this thing may affect people and the numbers of how many people could die. Look for links in the description. Nor am I going to give you advice on how to try and stay healthy during this outbreak. Other than to say, standard answer, wash your hands frequently, in the range of 20 to 25 times a day. Avoid direct contact with complete strangers, and obviously people with coronavirus. Avoid large crowds of people and touching things and then touching your face. If at all possible, don't touch your face for any reason, even if your nose itches. Maybe especially if your nose itches. It's just not worth it. The reason why this is affecting and will affect the economy so heavily is because of measures the large economies of the world are taking to try and keep this from becoming a major global pandemic. In China, companies such as Microsoft, Apple, Tesla, etc. have sent workers home and essentially stopped production to a certain degree. Other companies have followed suit. There are major cities, regions in China that are on lockdown and people cannot move around freely. This is affecting the markets in various ways and not just the stock market. Oil prices have fallen because travel companies such as cruise ships and airlines are expected to not have as many trips, passengers, and customers. Companies with supply chains in China and other Eastern Asian countries, which is about 99% of profitable companies, are getting hammered because, for obvious reasons, their supply chains are being disrupted. Entertainment companies based out of the United States are also getting hammered as lots of people are rightfully expecting that large get-togethers of large groups of people will probably be limited severely by either governments banning gatherings of people or just people staying away in general out of sheer terror of contracting this thing and bringing death and pain to their fellow citizens. No further proof is needed than the fact that the NBA has suspended indefinitely its season, expected to last till at least May. I think Major League Baseball has postponed its opening day as well, and the NCAA has canceled March Madness. Other major concert venues like Live Nation have canceled major concert tours. Major music festivals like Coachella have been canceled. But as you might imagine, that is causing ripple effects across the entire global economy. But the key for you is to have a plan of action and be prepared to take advantage of the fear people are having right now to get an edge in this marketplace or any other. You have to monetize fear. If you remain calm while everyone else is panicking around you, you can spot trends. You can see the seams on the curved ball. You can get ahead of things that other people are just going to bypass as they run around like chickens with their heads cut off. Now, I'm not implying that this thing isn't serious. It is. But I'm saying that calmer heads will prevail. And if that's you, here's what you can do to come out ahead. I've talked about the order of operations of wealth creation. I know. I need a better acronym. The marketing guys are working on it. What can I tell you? But to recap real quickly, get a skill, be the best, save an emergency fund, invest the rest for success. So obviously we're in the middle of this thing, and if you haven't been following those steps until now, you may find yourself in a position to not be able to fully take advantage of this. But just keep those in mind for future events such as this. Even so, even if you have a little bit of cash on the sidelines, it might be a good idea to take a look at some of these ideas. Just don't invest money that you're going to need in the next 2 weeks to 6 months. Expect the market to be really volatile for at least that period of time. And more than likely, a much longer period of time. And by the way, if anyone says they know when the market will bottom out, don't listen to them. Nobody has any clue when all this is going to level off. A US recession is likely, the severity and length of which nobody has any clue about at all. But it could get ugly. All that said, think about investing in individual stocks. Keep in mind though, individual stocks can be risky and volatile at times. But stocks like Clorox, CLX, Gilead Sciences, Regeneron Pharmaceuticals, stocks like that, those stocks represent sort of a coronavirus response strategy. Another play would be Slack Technologies, Teladoc Health, Zoom Video Communications, as more companies may encourage their employees to stay home from work. Another way to take advantage of this, or another play on this sort of trend, would be to look at Twitter for news and Facebook for staying in touch with friends during these trying times. Also think about Netflix, Activision Blizzard, Electronic Arts, and Take-Two Interactive Software. And how could we forget the king of stay home, Amazon. Now keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor, and you should not listen to people on YouTube for financial or investment advice. This video was meant for entertainment purposes only and should not be misconstrued for actual investment advice. If you want actual investment advice, please consult a certified financial planner. If you want more entertainment and information on business, technology, and personal finance, be sure to hit that subscribe and notification bell for more great videos on topics like this and others. If you got any value out of this video whatsoever, be sure to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. If you didn't like it for whatever reason, be sure to let us know why in the comments down below. We strive to provide the best entrepreneur, tech, and finance videos on the World Wide Web, and your feedback is important to help us hit our goals. And lastly, a goal without a plan is a wish. A goal with a plan and no action is a wish list. Take action on your business and personal finance using the power of technology, and we'll catch you next time. Stay healthy out there. Peace.